And now what I'd like to do is just open to this story and do one with you guys. And at the end, I'd just like to give a little pitch for kids. And hopefully we'll have time. So now you have to put these pencils and papers away. Clever-headed children who are waking up very rapidly often will go to sleep during story time, which is perfect because their heads are out of the way, because it's not for their head anyway, it's for their souls. So you're welcome to relax, and if you're a clever-headed fellow or lady, maybe you'll even go to sleep. And together we'll use our imaginations and light this candle. And we'll open. When you do storytelling with young children, there's not a lot of drama. There's no huge emphasis on the scary things that happen. It's all presented in a very matter-of-fact way, really. So together we'll light this candle. Fairies of the story time, come and bring your stories to me. Long ago and far away, but really not so very far at all, there lived a miller who was poor. He had the most beautiful daughter. Now it happened that the miller had need to speak to the king, and wishing to make himself important before His Majesty, he boasted, "My daughter can spin straw into gold." This is something that pleases me well. If your daughter is as clever as you say, said the king, then bring her to the palace, and I shall put her to the test. And so it was. The king had his servants prepare a large room filled with straw, and a spinning wheel, and a reel. He brought the miller's daughter into the room. "Spin this straw into gold." By daybreak tomorrow morning. And if it is not done, then you must die. Can you imagine what was going through her? I don't know how to spin straw into gold. How will I ever do this? And then I'm going to die? And she became so afraid. And then she began to weep. Weeping and weeping. A little man came in. "Mistress Miller, why do you weep?" "Oh, alas, the king thinks that I can spin straw into gold, but I cannot. And if I can't, I shall die on the morrow." If I spin this straw into gold, what would you give me? "Oh, well, I have this necklace." And he took it. He sat at the spinning wheel. Whir, whir, whir. One reel was filled with gold. And again, whir, whir, whir. 3 times round, he filled each of the reels with spun gold. In the morning, the king was amazed. The room was filled with golden reels. His greedy heart leapt. Again, he called his servants, "Fill this chamber, even larger than the last, with straw." And he had them bring the spinning wheel and the reels. And he took the miller's daughter there and commanded her again, "Spin this straw into gold before the morrow. And at dawn, if it is not done, you must die." She sat in the room in despair, knowing she couldn't do it. But then again the little man appeared. "Mistress, what will you give me now if I spin this straw into gold?" "Oh, I have this ring. I'll take it." And he spun 3 times round, 3 times round, 3 times round, until the room was filled with reels of spun gold. The king could not believe his good fortune at the dawn. And again, he called his servants and ordered them to fill an even larger room, for the greed in his heart was strong. And he thought to himself, "She is only a miller's daughter, but I could never find a wife that could bring me more wealth than this woman." And so he said, "If by the morrow this room's straw is spun to gold, then I will take you as my wife." She sat in the room, and soon enough the little man appeared. "Mistress Miller, what will you give me now if I spin this straw into gold?" "Oh, I have nothing left to offer you." Well, how about we make a bargain? If you become queen, let me have your firstborn child. The miller's daughter couldn't even fathom becoming a queen. It seemed so far-fetched to her that it wasn't even worth thinking about. And so she made the bargain. He sat at the wheel 3 times round, 3 times round, until every speck of straw was spun into gold. Well, the king did marry her. She did become queen. And they did have a child. And 1 year later, the little man came to the queen and said, "Now give me what you promised." "My child, no, not my child." And she began to plead and weep at the thought of losing her beloved child, her firstborn child. She offered him wealth, riches, land, all that she could think of that she possessed to exchange for her child. "But no," he said, "something that is alive is far more important to me than any wealth in this world." Something alive. The poor queen wept and wept, until finally he said, "Oh, right. I will give you 3 days. And if in 3 days' time you can tell me my name, then you may keep your child. The queen gathered all of her messengers together and sent them out all over the land. Look for the most unusual, the strangest, the oddest names. Come back, bring me the names. We must find out this man's name. So on the first day she tried, "Is your name Casper?" "No." "Is it Melchior?" "Oh, no." "Is it Balthazar?" "No, no, no." And away he went after she named so many names. On the second day, her messengers brought her back names that were common among the villagers. Is your name Sheepshanks?" "Oh, no." "Well, how about Short Ribs?" "No." "How about Lace Legs?" "No." Now you can imagine how the queen was feeling. She only had one more day, and no one was bringing her any names that seemed to be the name. Late the night before the third day, a messenger came to the queen. "I have had the most unusual experience. I was up on the mountain at the end of the forest where the fox and the hare bid one another good night. And there was this little house. A fire was burning in front of the house, and the oddest, most peculiar little man was jumping around the fire on one leg, singing to himself, 'Today I bake, tomorrow I brew. The next day the queen's babe will be mine. Glad am I that no one knew that Rumplestiltskin is my name.'" And the queen had the answer. Her heart knew it. She could name this man now. The next day she toyed with him. "Is your name Conrad?" "No, no, no." "Harry, how about Harry?" "Oh, no." "Perhaps your name is Rumplestiltskin." "The devil told you that! The devil told you that!" And he began to stomp around, and he stomped so hard with his right foot it went right into the earth all the way up to his leg. His anger boiled inside of him, and with both hands he was pulling on his left leg until he tore himself in two. And if things haven't changed, boys and girls, they're still the same. What part of you might have sold yourself out and stuck you in the room trying to spin straw into gold? What little man might be tempting you? What will you give me if I give you what you want? What father inside of you, for his own self-aggrandizement, sold you out? Not the father you have in the physical life, but inside of you. Where was your mother? It's always important to know in a fairy tale who's not in the fairy tale. What would this girl have been like if she would have had a mother? How might she have behaved differently? What part of you might be like the king who, instead of being connected with what is most noble and true, has sold itself out for the sake of something?